What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. Checking back in with a new video. This is an update on my current situation I'm facing. I'm stuck. No, I'm not stuck. I'm currently parked up in where are we at? In Indiana somewhere. I don't want to give you my exact location. I need a little air of mystery. But we are live. We are in the place to be. We are in Indiana. Such a interesting place. It's in the middle of the map. It's like a place that's full of land, long open land, wide open spaces and fields and all of that good stuff, but it's pretty cool. I just got out here. I've been here for a little bit. I came up from, where did I come from? Tennessee. That was an interesting place. Tennessee, I don't know it that good, but it seemed alright. I went to a couple places there. Went to a Cracker Barrel and a Walmart. It's always cool to get out and see different kinds of people and how they're living. I like that a lot. That's pretty cool. Going to different truck stops and all over the country, the Midwest and the East Coast, and seeing different people and trying different food. It's kind of fun. It keeps it exciting in that regard, or that aspect. It's what makes it kind of cool to be a trucker. Kind of fun to be out here. You get to see a lot of different people and things and places. The scenery is always changing. You're in a different state mostly every day. Different place, far away from the trappings of normal 9-to-5 living, you know. So yeah, it keeps it interesting. It keeps it different. Trying different foods. I can't lie. Up north, it seems like the food is better. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know what you think, because I've been to some restaurants up north, and man, the food here really good. I don't know. I've had good food down south. Now I ain't gonna lie, there is some good places I have ate, but just some of these mom and pop shops, some of these mom and pop restaurants, I mean, have really good food, really good Italian food. Oh man, I got some really good Italian food in a couple of different places. And what else? Really good American food. I like to go to Cracker Barrel because it's like a good, it's a place that keeps a good quality no matter which location you go to. The food is still pretty good for the price, you know. So you know what you're getting. Like some of these restaurants I've tried out here in the different places. Sorry, that's my truck. It's running because it cuts on and cuts off to keep the climate good in here. Keep the temperature right. Because it is summertime and inside the truck it gets hot. But back to what I was saying. There's been some bad food at these restaurants too. I ain't gonna lie. Some of these restaurants I don't know about. I don't know why you would think you could be a restaurant I guess anybody can become a restaurant, but the quality of the food has got to be there. Your quality has got to be, that's everything almost. Like anybody will go to the restaurant, will want to go, and it seems like the word of mouth will give you business because the taste of mouth, the taste of the food and the quality will bring the customers. If you make it, they will come. If you make good quality food, you can cook good quality food. It seems like that's like a deal breaker and a maker for a restaurant. It can make you or break you as a restaurant. If you got good quality food and good service, good atmosphere, and you can make a lot of money. Some of these mom and pop shops are here for 30, 40 plus years just because they built on the quality of the food and the service. And people, they just get to know it. I think it's kind of like Cracker Barrel. It's been around for a long time. It's got good quality, so people will know what they're getting. They'll go. But being able to go all over and try different restaurants is pretty cool. I've thought about doing some food reviews. Doing a channel of just about food reviews. I enjoy it. I enjoy going to try these different places. I just so busy running around, and it's hard to fit in an outside meal or a video because I don't know where I'm going to be half the time, and half the time I'm in places that don't have good restaurants and good food. I try to look at the reviews before I go. Sometimes that's misleading. Sometimes they're good. They're spot on. But a lot of these restaurants weren't that good that I've been to out here. But there's a few good ones that they like going to. There's even the truck stop has some truck stops with good food. I didn't know about, but it's part of the journey. Like you'll learn about a lot of different places as you go, and you could pick up some living tips too out here too, like for truckers, like living different tricks of the trade. But I get to go all over and see different places. I was in Tennessee yesterday. Tennessee to Indiana. It was like 5 or 6 hours up to here. So I don't mind. I like this drive. This drive is kind of cool, but I also went like late at night when nobody was on the road. Only thing about driving at night is like the people with their bright lights on. I don't know why they have their brights on all the time, and they're blinding you while you're trying to drive, and it's aggravating. So frustrating. Wish people, you don't even need bright lights really. You can drive with just your regular lights. I could understand. I know it's kind of dark because of the street light missing. Like on a lot of the road there's no street light. But you don't need to see, all the way a mile away. I wish people wouldn't do that, but how they do it. It seems like a ton of people ride with bright lights, their brights on up here in the country because it's so dark, I guess. But it's blinding for me as a truck driver. And they're probably not going to stop doing it. But this past week's been kind of rough. I got to get a shower in yesterday. Oh man, just doing normal stuff is hard for a trucker to get to a shower or to get some decent food, go to a good restaurant. We value those things a lot because we don't get to do it. We don't get to experience things normally. Getting a shower was good. I need to do laundry, throw some trash away. The basic amenities are missing in our life. We live in a truck, so we have to improvise a lot. Went to Walmart too and got to shop for a few things I needed. So I got some food to get through the rest of the week, but I've also I was on the East Coast a few days ago and I ran into some woman truck driver, and she was kind of cute, and I was trying to flirt with her, and she said she had somebody though, so I was like, alright, but it probably wouldn't have worked anyway because we're truck drivers. We wouldn't never see each other. She'd be over here, I'd be way over there, but I think she was looking for a team driver. I was like, oh, I'll team drive with you, and she was like, oh, I bet you will. I think she was leery of me, but for good reason probably, but I was flirting with that idea with her. She was from Texas. I was just talking to her to talk to her, and she was with the same company that I work with. So it gets lonely out here, you want to talk to people sometimes, so I'm just trying to be friendly and talk to her, and talk about the things you go through as truckers, so because they can relate. So she was saying how, I was telling her, yeah, it's kind of boring. You're out here for a long time. You know how being a truck driver is. You're out here for long days with nobody to talk to, and you're just driving, and it's kind of boring, and it's kind of grueling because of the long days. And so I said, yeah, it's boring, and she's like, oh, I love that. I was like, oh, you probably like it because it's peaceful too. I like that idea and that fact, because you don't have to deal with toxic people. You're on the road. You're always gone. You got your space. Your privacy. Unless you're a team driver. So that's what's kind of throwing me off about her, because she seems like she's trying to become a team driver to make money. But to be a team driver, you gotta live with somebody in your truck constantly, and that's probably kind of hard to do. I haven't done it yet, but I don't want to really do it because you can probably make good money, and I think I had somebody offer me it, but I didn't really want to do it. It's hard enough being on the road by yourself in a truck, but being with somebody else in a truck for weeks at a time, oh man, it sounds crazy, but people do it. People do all kinds of crazy stuff. People are out here months at a time with living in team driving with their couple, as a couple. They're living on the road, period. They got a big super sleeper. It's their house. They live in it like full time. And I've seen that one too. That's what's kind of shocking. People, this is their life. They work and they live in a truck, which is kind of cool. I kind of work and live in a truck too mostly now. Kind of embraced that idea. I lived in my car for a few years, so it's kind of like I was building up to this. Like I lived in my car before this. I had to try to escape that situation. I was in a bad situation. I was kind of homeless, living in my car for a few years, 3 years. I was living in my car. I'm like, oh, not much. When I think about it, I'm like, oh, not much has changed because I still live in the car. Just live in a bigger one that I work out of too. So when you think about it, it's like the same concept almost, but better, because I get to make money, more money. When I lived in my car for 3 years, oh man, went through a lot of different stuff in those 3 years. I even went through truck driving school in my car. So if you focus on something, you can do it, because I I went homeless and went in my car and then became a truck driver while living in my car. And I also, like, for a couple months, I moved into a storage and lived in the storage secretly in a storage locker for a couple months because of the summertime. It got super hot and hard to live in a car, and I had a storage locker. So these people were kind of cool, and I think there was other people crashing in the storage lockers at the time, and it was kind of like, it wasn't like a big name storage, so they were kind of letting them slide with, they were letting them bend the rules a little bit. People didn't have a place to go, so they want a place to go, they'll go to a storage locker, and I kind of just used it to crash for the summer months till it cooled off. Went and lived in a storage locker, and I had a job at this time. I was making pretty good money. I just couldn't afford to get an apartment, and I didn't have enough. But I eventually, I think I stayed in the storage locker, and then I went back out into my car for the winter months. Tried to get into truck driving. It didn't work how I wanted it to, so I could live in the truck for a while I was driving. And then, let's see what happened. This has been a long process. I went this was like 2021, 2022. I was working at Pizza Hut, and that was a trip. And then going to truck driving. But yeah, looking back, it's funny how much stuff I went through. I was living in my car. I still don't have a place to live permanently, just because the place I was at before was bad, and then I don't want to go back there. And had a lot of problems with people, and so I decided to go and move and find a better place to live too. I'm still on that mission, kind of trying to find a better place to go. Like lost in the road right now, but aren't we all? So trying to figure it out. I'm trying to find my way out. But what happened? Oh, I went back into my car. It was an older car too. But luckily I had an SUV, so I had made it it was kind of comfortable. It was kind of manageable. I had a job the whole time I was on. I had a side hustle, and I was making all right money. And so for like the first year or two, I was just in my car, and then I was going from job to job trying to find a way to progress and make more money, until I even went through breakdowns too. Like I went through a couple breakdowns out there working on my car while I was living in my car. Somehow I managed to fix it and keep going. I tried to drive up north, and my car broke down on the way to a job offer up north, from Florida to Pennsylvania. Yeah, that was a good. I should have just flew up there on the plane. I should have just parked my car and flew up there, because it was an old car. My radiator went out. It overheated. Oh man, that was a bad one. I broke down in like 100 miles into the trip or something. I had to turn around and drive back at like 30 miles an hour the whole way back. Or 20, real slow all the way back 100 miles. And keep putting water to get back, and then replace my radiator somehow. Oh, that was kind of crazy. And then I should have just flew up there. It was a truck driving job offer. I couldn't get there, I think, and they I don't know. I think I turned him down, and I told him I couldn't make it and stuff, and so I had to turn down the offer. But it was a good offer. It was like a Class B truck driving job, making like 70 or 80 or something like that. Making a bunch of money, but you were working long hours too, like 70, 80 hours a week. something crazy. So you were getting a lot of overtime pay up there in Pennsylvania, up there in PA. The only thing is you got to drive through a little bit of mountains, maybe, which it ain't that bad in PA. I don't think it's that bad to truck drive up there. It's just the snowy months, you know, the winter months, kind of dangerous, and gotta be careful. But that fell through. I should have just flew up there because they would have gave me a place to stay, and they were offering, you know, a ride from the airport, pick you up, and all this stuff. And I should have tried harder, but that's a trip. That was a trip. Looking back, I don't know how I survived that one. Then I stayed in storage for a little bit, and I was in my car for most of the time, living out of my car for the winter months. Summer months, first summer I used the storage. The second summer, what did I do? Where did I go? I think, let's see, let me think back. There was a lot of stuff that happened. I was in a restaurant working at Pizza Hut, and I went to a local truck delivery place, truck driving, and that's when I stayed in the storage. And then I went tried to go to truck driving school. I did go to truck driving school, and then didn't work out, and I came back and got a regular job, forklift driving. And then that summer, oh man, it started getting hot, and then I got a different job, a good high paying job, truck driving again, local job, like Class B. And I got a little place for a few months. I was like, I'll just get a place for a few months, like a little cheap, tiny place, like a camper in the back of somebody's house. And it's just something I can get in and get out. I ain't got no lease. I don't got to worry about all that crazy stuff. And I don't got to live with people, so I got my own little camper in the back of somebody's place. I kind of rented out. I kind of paid too much for it too. I was paying like $1,000 for a camper to live in somebody's backyard, which is crazy. They had a couple of them. They were just renting them out for $1,000 a piece or whatever. And that thing was a trip. And then I had my back entrance. I had to come in that way. But stayed in there for a few months until it cooled off. Went back out into my car, and then worked that job, and then saved up some money and tried to go into the maritime industry. Just didn't work out because of some technicalities that I just fixed. And I could possibly go back into now, but that's a whole nother story. But I was in my car until it like kind of broke down. Everything went to shit when I tried to go to the maritime industry. The technicalities happened, and I had to try to see a doctor to try to get my medical straightened out, and then that took another 6 months. But while I was trying to get into the union, the freaking car broke down, majorly broke down. Like the axle broke, and CV axle or something. The ball joint went out, and I couldn't drive it. I had to tow it to my brother's house and fix it, and then, but it still had a like a head gasket leak for some reason. I think it because it overheated, and I drove it while I was overheating and messed up the head gasket a little bit. But it wasn't that bad. It was a little head gasket leak, and it needed to be fixed. And so I just was tired of working on this car. The car was, like 25 years old, and I had to fix everything on that car. Like I put so much money into that car. It was a good car for a while, but I decided to let it go, and then tried to get something else. And then I finally got some money together and found something else, and stayed with some family for a little while. But yeah, I was out there for a few years on my own, living in my car. And then, so that prepared me for living in a truck, maybe, in a way. And I also was doing local truck driving for a while, so that prepared me for truck driving. And some of the things that come with truck driving and deliveries. Worked in the warehouse, so that helped me with deliveries too. You know, knowing how deliveries work and how to go into warehouses and stuff. But all that stuff, yeah, prepared me for truck driving now, kind of, in a way. But it's hard. Truck driving is hard. Long days driving. If you don't think long days driving all day is hard, then you will find out, because it's hard to sit for long periods of time. Just driving all day, it's hard. It's like monotonous and boring, and being in the truck for long periods of time is hard too. Like mentally, it's frustrating not being in a place, having stability. It's fun going to different places and trying different things, but it's hard to deal with being detached from everybody and everything, and trying to get some kind of balance, or keep some kind of balance out here. So it's good to have good food every now and then, and good to talk to nice people and go to see some nice places you dream about, living and might be able to go move to one day. There's a bunch of beautiful country out here, so it's kind of cool like that. You get to see a bunch of beautiful places in the countryside, like Kentucky and Indiana, Pennsylvania, Ohio. I love it up there. I love Ohio. I love Pennsylvania. New York was kind of cool. Upstate New York. There's some cool places up there. Got to go. And I'd enjoy living out there in them quiet places in the country, in Ohio or Pennsylvania or New York, or there's Indiana. There's some beautiful places here. But alright, this video is getting kind of long. I'm gonna cut it right here, and I'll check back in with another video soon.